Good morning, beautiful goddesses, and welcome back to another episode of Soul Sister Adventures with my bestie. We're back.
We're back. Same environment. It's been a hot minute since I've been able to do this here.
It has been a hot minute. You have been missed. And I am so excited to dive in to the question that we have for our community today, which is like, are you aware of your feeling habits? First and foremost, I mean, if it couldn't be more perfect, like this is it. When I heard you really began to unearth and really break out, the subject for today, it blew my mind. I know we were talking last night, of course, on the way, in the car, like we were in the car. And I'm like,
Yep.
I just trust whatever you read, it will be perfect. And then,
Yeah. Well, and it was yesterday morning on the way to the gym in the car that I said one of the realizations I've been having is that grief, like getting through, I don't want to say getting through, managing grief is a skill set.
yeah. Oop, look at that. Oh, my camera agrees. What was that? Yep.
Yeah.
It
Thanks,
just
Mom.
popped off. It just popped off. Nicholas is playing games with us.
Yes. Yes. I am sure. So when I realized, the last
Wait, say that again. Excuse me, because
yeah,
it.
yeah. So managing grief is a skill set.
Mm,
And the last 3.5+ years, because of my experience with Nicholas, developing tools to negotiate my way through a new landscape.
right.
It really is like you hear us say everything's a brain pattern and a frequency. And right?
I'm just in awe that you are so present that you can get. It really is a gift for yourself and the world. That grief is a skill set. Like,
Yeah, it is. Just like
and no different than if you're building your business or like wherever you are. Like we're not born knowing how to do this stuff. Like,
right. Clear.
and so like that's really like if our listeners can get that. I know it's been a gift for you when you got it. It blew my neurology when I heard it, and I think it's really powerful.
Yeah. Well,
So
and
I
that
acknowledge you
oh, thank
and
you.
like what a gift you are.
Thank you. And it led to the further conversation of, you know, literally in our body, these emotions, our feelings are, it's a chemical reaction that our
Yeah.
body produces. Like we're our own pharmaceutical plant.
AKA shitstorm.
Can be. Can
Like,
be.
yeah,
And we get to learn or not
right.
to develop skills to
Powerfully is the key.
yes, step into what we say we want. Right.
Yeah.
And you've heard me over the last 3 years, like my battle cry has been no suffering.
Yeah.
Life's too short, no suffering.
Yeah.
And so no joke or no coincidence that the chapter that we're reading is becoming aware of your feeling habits, which is habits are brain patterns.
Well, I think it's interesting to even just get aware that feelings are a habit. Like we
Yes.
all, how often are we just talking about feelings, but to actually get present to, huh, I might have some habits wrapped around my feelings. Like it is an automicity and left undistinguished. We're just going to run that program over
Yep.
and over and over again. And then we call that a life and it's not. I mean,
Yeah. Like this is how I feel with this person, or this
yeah,
is how I feel at the gym, or this is how I feel at church. This is how I feel at work. This
this
is
is how I feel when I woke up this morning, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah,
So, the book that we're
that is juicy. Like that is
yeah,
transformative.
yes, it is. So again, the book that we're talking about is called Frequency, the Power of Personal Vibration by Penny Pierce. And this is chapter 3, Becoming Aware of Your Feeling Habits. Emotions are not good or bad. The energy of enlightenment and rises from the very natural origins as those which give rise to our everyday passions and emotions. So our emotions are directly correlate to our frequency, directly. And I'm going to read a little bit as an introduction to the chapter, and then we have some fun things that I'm going to talk about. So you came into this life wide open, trusting, expecting joy, and a free exchange of nurturing love. That's how we were born. Certainly, we are all born empathetic and sensitive to vibrations. In Joseph Clinton Pierce's book, Evolution's End, he describes how a few days after conception, the embryo forms a clump of vibrating cells. And guess what it forms?
What?
We've talked about this before. The heart. Our heart is developed before our brain.
Nice.
Okay. Those cells seem to be sound sensitive and tune into the mother's heartbeat and breath, which appear to be necessary for further forming the infant's heart. Is that cool?
This is cool. Keep
The
reading.
mothers, I know, right? So for those of you who have a mother, which is everyone, and are a mother, like, this is pretty cool. The mother's emotional state and any repetitive patterns of behavior are imprinted on the fetus hormonally and through the tone of her voice. After the infant is born and its body is still loaded with adrenal hormones, the mother's instinct, and the father's as well, is to hold the newborn to the left, close to the heart. And I remember holding Nicholas. It was always
oh my gosh, I was always like unconsciously, but of course I did.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. The parent's heart stimulates the baby's heart, which activates the brain mind and reassures the child that it is safe. So vibrational sensitivity and empathy, it seems, are fundamental human tendencies with roots going back to the womb. So I just think that's the foundation, right?
Whoa, that is powerful. And I remember like having Savannah like in the papoose, right? Like, I mean, it didn't matter if I was vacuuming or walking or whatever I was doing, she was in the papoose. I could not like put her down. She didn't want to be put down. And who knew we were sinking?
Well, and I also want to share, like yesterday morning when I got to the gym. So on the way to the gym, I was sharing all the stuff about grief and how the impact and, and when I got to the gym, my soul sister best friend came up to me and hugged me heart to heart.
Yeah.
And you just held me.
Yeah.
And you said, we're going to get your heart back into coherence.
Yes. This is true. Oh my goodness.
It did. So thank you. And then last night I read this. Yeah. I love how God works.
Yes.
One of the many ways I know I'm totally loved and cared for. So we have a little survey for you. This was very eye-opening, and Shannon hasn't heard this yet. So I haven't.
Should I get a pen and a piece of paper?
You can. So rate this following statements from 1 to 10.
Hang on, let me get a pen and a piece of paper.
Okay.
I think this is going to be so
different kind of writer downer.
Yeah, let me do it. Let me get it.
So this survey is meant to help you understand your feeling habits. There is a rating, no final scoring involved. Really, it's for awareness. Rate the following statements from 1 to 10, with 10 indicating a high incidence or the most truth for you. Review your results looking for your particular sensitivity and your ideas about becoming more sensitive. So we're talking about vibrational sensitivity, which is tied to our emotions. Okay, number 1. I trust my gut instinct about new people and ideas. I easily sense truth and lies. I immediately discern other people's moods. I trust my own good ideas and guidance. I trust I can materialize and have what I want. I trust that my emotions bring me useful information. I am immediately aware of positive or negative vibrations in spaces that I enter. I can feel non-physical beings, energy fields, and people's souls. I often know what other people are thinking. I know
Sorry, I had a giggle on that one.
the right moment to take action. I notice vibrational information when I'm in a neutral or helpful mode. When I am overstimulated, I create more space and recenter myself. Okay. So those first 12, the high scores equal healthy feeling habits. Okay. The next 12 statements, the high scores equal unhealthy feeling habits. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
I was so proud of myself after the first 12.
I know, me too. I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm almost 10, all 10s, with the exception of maybe like 3 9s.
Yeah.
Am I about to get smacked in the face?
Well, if this doesn't do it, the segment next will.
Will. Oh, goody, bring it on.
Yeah. It's all about awareness, right?
Oh yeah, I'm aware. Giddy up. Giddy up. I got my pen and piece of paper.
Okay. I am upset by my own and others' pain.
Okay, wait. So are we still doing 1 through 10?
1 through 10.
And like 10 being
10 being resonates with the most truth.
Okay, so say it again.
I am upset by my own and others' pain. I have a low tolerance for reading about or watching violence.
Oh my.
I am bothered by intense stimuli and chaos. I get frazzled when I have too many things at once, or when I have to do too many things at once. Showing my emotions make others distrust me. Making decisions based on feelings leads to failure.
Wait, say that again.
Making decisions based on feelings leads to failure. Too much news exposure or the general public paralyzes me.
Oh, no. Okay.
When I am overstimulated, I escape into mindless activities or addictions. I notice vibrational information when I'm in a defensive or critical mode.
Oh.
If I were more sensitive, I wouldn't be able to properly function in the world. If I were more sensitive, I might go crazy or develop problematic mental issues.
What if you already have them? No, I'm kidding.
If I were more sensitive, I might get seriously sick. So that's the high scores equal unhealthy feeling habits.
That's interesting. Wow.
And I would not have identified some of these behaviors. And after I saw it, became aware, it was like, oh yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I have like, and I put 10. I have like 3 10s, 2 5s, and the rest are 1s.
Right. I was expecting not to have any 10s.
Well, that would be accurate. Yeah.
And I did. Yeah.
You know, something I saw yesterday, it was, let's see if I can recreate it in my mind. It was responses to trauma. Like one is procrastination. But there were 2 other responses to trauma that I was like, oh snap. And again, I love the discovery, right? Because then when we can start to see it, we can distinguish it and make the shift. But if we think this is normal, then we're not actually realizing on our highest, greatest good. This isn't actually how we were designed.
Right. Yes. So it says, after examining your answers, you may notice that there are specific areas where you are largely oblivious or very much in touch with how you feel. You may find that you have high or low tolerance for vibrational stimulation, that you shift into negative perception easily or not so easily, or that your beliefs make it easy or difficult to expand your sensitivity. This is good information, not right or wrong. Not right or wrong. It's a place to start being more intentional with your perception.
Mm.
So that was the whole purpose. We're not judging, right? We're just becoming
We're
aware.
not winning.
Yes. It's not about, yeah. Looking good, all the things. And so I thought this was interesting. Let's take a little journey. It's just a paragraph, and then we're going to the next eye opener.
The next juice.
Let's take a little journey back to that time where after you were born, where you were still operating as an empathetic and vibrationally sensitive organism before you learned words and built up layers of explanation, identity, and coping mechanisms. You were merged with your environment and, like a dolphin, sent out your own brand of sonar, learning to navigate by what expanded without limit into the world and by what bounced back to you. You were like a miniature sun, beaming out clear light, love, and joy to anyone who wanted to be in it. That's why we love to be around babies, I think,
Well, and isn't that what we're committed to returning to? Like,
yes, exactly. That's why I wanted to just let's go back to the beginning.
Oh, snap.
And
that's really good.
Where we can be. If we were there once, we could be there again.
Right.
So as your unconditional love reached your parents or other influential people around you, wherever they have maintained their ability to love and feel empathy, your sonar passed through and your reality was validated, perhaps even magnified. You could feel the truth of your soul there in that particular sensation. It might even be called pleasure. A healthy childhood is marked by this kind of soul validation. Wherever your parents or others had learned to be afraid, shut down their hearts, developed distrust, or rejected joy, your sonar bounced back to you. Perhaps your father shut off his playfulness as a child because his own parents were stern, and he unconsciously took on that strictness and belief that all children need discipline. When your boundless joy hits his rigid beliefs and thickened emotions, you can't experience yourself. Instead, you sense something is wrong, but don't know enough to know what it is. When this first occurs, the bounce back produces in you, the organism, a strange sense of disorientation and lack of reality. So it's just interesting, how our environment, we talk about this, like birth to 7, like we're just imprinted and we come into the world this looking for and emitting joy and light and love.
Oh, I love that. Visualization of the sonar and the dolphin, right?
Yes.
Wow. So I didn't want to leave a cliffhanger. I did find that
oh yeah.
Not so obvious trauma responses, right? So the first one is procrastination. The root wound of that is fear of failure and criticism. So finding comfort in trying and not trying to reach goals at all, actually coupled with perfectionism. So perfectionism, this would talk about another slap in the face, right? Is a not so obvious trauma response. Perfectionism, root wound, only ever receiving affirmation reward for high performance. So now constantly chasing the validation that comes from achieving excellence. And then here's the other one, which I'm actually working with a mentee on this: over explaining yourself. And this new little love of mine, she asterisks everything. And I did not know at the time, and now I know that that's a trauma response. So when we over explain ourselves, root wounds, frequent experiences of being invalidated, misunderstood, or misheard. So now always trying to vindicate or defend self. So I just want to I think that with what you just read is
Well, and so this is the perfect segue into the next start, because it talks about developing our fight or flight, right?
Yeah.
Response, which is trauma responses.
Yes.
So here's some unhealthy feeling habits based on your subconscious: flee and avoid. So we're going to talk about fleeing first, and then we're going to talk about fight responses. So these are unhealthy feeling habits based on the flight decision. You literally leave the room, your relationship, your job, or the country drop out of the conversation, your body, and your life. You abandon yourself. At worst, your personality becomes split and dissociated. You feel disoriented, lost, depressed, unmotivated, and apathetic. You have memory lapses and loss.
Oh, my Lanta.
You distract and numb yourself with addictions to alcohol, drugs, food, sex, exercise, television, work, shopping, worry, socializing, or the internet, to name a few. That distraction, right? You live in other realities than your own, or glamorize other places in time periods, celebrities, heroes, non-physical realms or beings, or your past lives. In a related behavior, you're only sensitive to displeasing the people you've glorified. So you develop codependent relationships in which you virtually live in the other person's life, merge with them, lose yourself, and end up feeling dominated. You get involved in larger than life situations that monopolize your mind and offers a great excuse for not having to feel something. You're sick, in pain, incapacitated, depressed, shy, bankrupt, injured, in abusive relationship, or have to take care of an ailing relative, a failing business, or a problematic house you're remodeling.
I'm like, oh my gosh, he's just describing like the old Shannon. And then there's
I highlighted that one.
Oh,
I was like, yeah. Wow. I did not realize that was a flight decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel helpless and victimized with no personal boundaries, sense of self, preferences, or freedom, and gradually become drained, exhausted, and paralyzed. You complain, feel unlucky, make excuses, and are often in a bad mood and are plagued by repeating negative cycles. You're overtaken by anxiety and panic attacks in time wear down your physical health. So those are the unhealthy feeling habits based on the flee, right? Wow. We're going to talk about the unhappy. The good things are coming. And we still have the fight.
Well, and for anyone listening that heard themselves in that, I have been there. And I would say we've transformed most of that. I still hear a few. Yeah. And like we are a work in progress. This is part of the journey.
Yes, it is. So here are some unhealthy feeling habits. And again, these are just habits. They're brain patterns, and the good news is we can change them.
And here's the deal. I love a habit, right? Like if we created the habit, so if we created that, what else can we create?
Exactly. Yeah. So here are some unhealthy feeling habits based on subconscious fight and control decisions. You project blame, anger, rage, hatred, and violence outside of yourself onto other people when you don't want to feel something. You attack people who threaten the way you want your reality to work. You become a problem solver and try to fix the things that bother you in order to make the outside world align to your preferences. You launch into, I know.
You are you looking at me, looking at you? Like, which one is all this?
Well, I know, right? It's just like, uh-huh.
Yep, been there, done that.
Are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
You launch into action as a rescuer, savior, or healer, projecting your ideas of how happy and healthy others should be onto their growth process. You try to You try to influence or control other people through charm, seduction, false humility, trickery, negotiation, manipulation, or force. You try to know more and do more, reading voraciously, taking seminars, working long hours, or volunteering for extracurricular and charitable projects.
Guilty as charged.
Yep. You become trapped in conflict and polarized positions that don't resolve. You argue, criticize, fight, and want to reject or punish others. You talk yourself into liking self-sacrificial realities you think you have to live with. In fact,
that's good.
Yeah, I'm going to read that one again. You talk yourself into liking self-sacrificial realities you think you have to live with. In fact, to feel in control, you may tell others you chose them or created them intentionally.
Wow, I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm gonna have to re-listen to this and listen to that again.
You become stubborn and resistant, stoic and immovable. You won't change, won't listen, won't participate.
Not me.
So here's the good news.
Oh, please get on with it.
In contrast, that here are some healthy feeling habits.
Okay, good.
So if you've remained open or are actively developing your ability to sense the world consciously, you may recognize or want to develop some of these healthy feeling habits. You allow yourself to feel, think, and act without self-judgment or self-sacrifice in accordance with a natural inner sense of ethics and harmony. You allow others to feel, think, and act as they do without needing to sacrifice their authenticity for you. You consciously notice the frequencies of other people, places, and situations, and don't change yourself to match them, especially if they are lower than yours. You merge with other frequencies in people, places, or situations intentionally to activate new knowledge and ideas, then come back to yourself and determine how or if you want to implement the information. You keep your awareness open and in the present moment, receptive to subtle signals that come from your body. By remaining centered and alert, you have no need to separate yourself from the world or defend yourself from the world. You simply adjust your frequency to the vibration that most nourishes or entertains you in any given moment. You withdraw inside yourself not to escape feeling something, but to see what feels right for you in each situation and to find your own ideas. You find the insights and messages in various feelings, seeing every sensation and perception as useful. I love this next one. You trust and enjoy, so there's no need to impress others. Oh, wait, you trust and enjoy yourself. You trust and enjoy yourself, so there's no need to impress others. The resulting ease facilitates increased clarity. This is the part I love. You trust you'll know what you need to know just when you need to know it. You share energy and awareness easily with others. You allow yourself to experience the full range of sensations from the most contracted to the most expanded, knowing that this is what life is all about. Even contractions contain useful information and energy. That was very helpful last night. You know that life in the mind naturally oscillate, so you allow yourself and others to have polarities and change often while penetrating the core to find stability. You know your experience is up to you and the choices you make. You know that by adjusting the frequencies you run in your body, emotions, and thoughts, you can change your reality and create or dissolve the stuff of your life. That's very powerful. You're excited about having a live connection with the world, and you engage fully with discovery and creativity. You accept that you and the world are made of many dimensions and frequencies of awareness, and that you have access to all of them. So those are the signs, the healthy feeling habits, right? And then the last part, we're going to wrap it up with this: the benefits of being consciously sensitive to vibrations. Like why be aware?
Yes.
Why run any of this?
Yes.
So the benefits of being consciously sensitive to vibrations: your intuitive ability and clarity are high. You make good decisions. Your creative and innovative abilities are high. You can easily materialize what you need and use what you've been given. You cooperate easily and draw the best out of others. You have deep insight into others' motivations and sources of pain and what they need in order to grow and heal. You can offer people the help, advice, or understanding that they need. Your capacity to feel the inner dynamics of anything brings data and insight that gives you an advantage in achieving happiness and success in your relationships, personal life, and business. You can dissolve feelings of separation and isolation and understand how connected and mutually sourced everything in life really is. This helps you experience the soul in things and become more spiritually enlightened. So that's the why bother, right?
Yeah, well, that's the game we're playing. Yes.
Exactly.
And it's not There is just a beginning. I say there is no ending, and it's all the days in between, right? The continual evolution and refinement and, you know,
all the things.
all the things. Holy guacamoles.
Wasn't that good?
This was rich.
Yeah.
My neurology is not blown very often, and it was today. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
And boy, we needed that. So we're not just back, we are back with a vengeance.
That's right. On fire.
Woo! Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. What else? Anything else you want to share?
Well, so really it's to, in my coaching, I talk about like the first step is awareness,
Yeah.
which is, and then what can you be grateful for?
Yeah.
In the journey.
Yeah.
With, blameless discernment.
Yeah.
And so I really want to underscore that. Like you might have heard some things that could have triggered you today. And there's not a benefit in beating yourself up over that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't serve you.
Yeah. So
if you find yourself spiraling into that,
right.
reach out to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can pull you out of the crab bucket.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think I know something that I grapple with, and obviously I've heard you say it as well. It's like something that falls out of my mouth from time to time is I've done so much work. I've done so much learning, and I'm still like bumping up against this. And what, again, like if you're just looking at that, what can I be grateful for? Like, I am so grateful, one, that I can even see that I've done so much work, that I did do so much work. And oh my goodness, here it reared its ugly head again. And and consider it's like a new layer, like the onion, right? It's a new level that my unconscious mind was unable or even unaware of the link or the connection to that then when I dealt with it the first 95 times, right?
Well, and we couldn't have even had access to it unless we go through the layers.
Yeah. I think that's a thing that a lot of women, well, and I know I used to, right? Because I just want results, I want it fast, and I want it now.
Yep.
I get the class, or I get the coach, or I get the whatever, and like boom, everything should magically be gone.
Yep.
And to really humbly grapple with this is it, like all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the breakdowns, the breakthroughs.
It's life.
That is the life and the journey that we actually signed up for.
Yeah.
And at any moment of any second of any day of any week of any month of any year, we can begin to rewrite the story.
Right. Change the brain pattern, right?
Change the brain pattern, change the habit after we get access to the awareness. And
the game for me is how fast can I shift?
Yes.
Like become aware.
Yep.
Love myself through it.
Yes.
Blameless discernment, right? Yep. Just be aware.
Yep.
Look for the blessing.
Yep.
And how fast can I shift?
Yeah. And I would assert in the past, like it probably took us, well, I know for me, for sure, it took a decade and some of those things, right? A decade or two. And then there
yes, or two.
Like, let's just get straight about it. Like, and now, like, some things are just right there. And others, hey, I've just been on a 6-month, journey. Like, it took 6 months to get unresistant and unresigned and cynical about some things. Yeah. And I think I am so giggling at it now. Like when we get on the other side of it, guess what? There is so much light in play because you are no longer held down or held back. I always give my clients like the visualization of a hot air balloon, right? Like we have this beautiful, glowing, like, umbrella of gifts and glory and light and color. And then on the basket, we have these bags of sand, right? That are keeping us, this hot air balloon, tethered to the ground, literally. Instead of doing what the hot air balloon was designed to do, which is fly, seek, soar, give joy and enjoyment and adventure and gifts, and to see the glory of the world, the universe, yourself, and who's in the basket with you, right? And to begin to be able to snip off figuratively and unfiguratively, I guess, like metaphorically and literally, that's what I mean, to snip off the sandbags and begin to set your own hot air balloon free.
Yeah.
Which becomes your expression in the ether, like in the sky. I mean, don't you just stop and look at a balloon when you see it and you take a picture of it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Well, that's you. That's your spirit. That's your gifts. That's your joy. Your full expression of your life, your dharma. Why did you come? You came to fly and have people take pictures and be in awe.
And be free.
And be free. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! Oh, it's so good to be back with you.
It's so good to be back. Yeah, it is very good to be back.
It's so good.
I've missed. I was liking this brain pattern of what we get to do every week.
Yes. And we're back. Beautiful. Anything else?
Well, I would say please share this with someone you think that might that wants to have more access to increasing their frequency, raising their vibration. This, to me, this book has been very practical.
Yes.
Like, this is what it looks like when you're here, and this is what it looks like when you're here. And it's very like step by step versus just like this airy fairy, raise your frequency. Like, this is a very practical application, I think.
Yeah, I love that. Because I do believe people get in the thought of like frequencies just like woo woo and like not real, and it is tangible. And we may or may not articulate that.
I know.
Because of how silly and giddy we get, and how it gets to be tangible are the results in your life.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Love it. So share with a friend, share with a soul sister who that you think that this would make a profound difference for. Other than that, we will see you on the next episode. And until then, get in the car. I love you.
I love you.
Have an amazing, magical day.
I will. You too.